Hi, my name is Lena Sherman, and I welcome you all to this talk show at World Water Week. It's called Road to 10th World Water Forum 2024, Water for Shared Prosperity. The World Water Forum is held every 3 years and is co-hosted by the World Water Council and a host country. It's one of the largest water-related gatherings in the world involving various stakeholders for providing water solutions, and that we all know is so much needed. Next year's forum will be held in Bali in Indonesia, and the theme for the forum will be Water for Shared Prosperity, a theme that requests a lot from us all, I think. I'd like to introduce to you the speakers. Mr. Basuki Hadimilyono in the middle, chairman of the 10th World Water Forum. He's also the Minister for Public Works and Housing in the Republic of Indonesia. Peter McCormick, Daugherty, Board of Governors of World Water Council, and Kenzo Hiroki, National Graduate Institute for Policy Studies. Is that so?
That's it.
I'd like to welcome you to this talk show. Mr. Basuki, I would like to start with you. We all know there are tremendous challenges in the water sector globally. What should you say is the expected role and outcome of this 10th World Water Forum to be able to address those challenges?
Yes, thank you very much. So, World Water Forum should be the largest water resources event or festival in the world. We start from the, we already, Indonesia has been chosen as the host to conduct this World Water Forum in Senegal in the World Water Forum 9th. I think for this World Water Forum 10, there will be most important challenge for us to discuss, because there are so many challenges now coming, not only because of pandemic. With the pandemic, we all understand that water quality and the water quantity is much more needed. The study of the Indonesian Water Institute said that the need of water supply now is becoming 3 times than before pandemic. Climate change is also becoming the most challenging for us to adapt to this climate change, and also water-related disaster. For Indonesia, people can say Indonesia is like a super mall of disaster. Okay? You just name it. From January until now, July 2023, we already experiences in at least 2,500 disasters related to water, yes, to water, like a flood, and then a flash flood, and then what you call it, tsunami, and then what, landslide, and then liquefaction. So there are so many water-related disasters in Indonesia. Now, because of the El Nino effect, we are facing for the drought. That's why we need also water supply. Fortunately, we since I was the minister of the Public Works and Housing, we now build 61 dams, 61 dams during the 10 years. Out of those 61, so far already constructed, finished 36. In 2023, there will be another 10, and next year will be 15 constructed. World Water Forum should be the event that we can share our experience, our challenging thing that we have to face for water resources management. In Bali, there are also heritage for the water resources management called Suba. This is under the Hinduist belief, Trihita Karana, the close relation between people, environment, and God. Based on that principles, the Balinese manage the irrigation in equitably manner. We have that. We now still in operational that Suba system. Okay? So I really thank you very much for this World Water Week in Stockholm to have this opportunity for World Water Forum distribution of information. I am with Dr. Peter McCormick, the Board of Director, Governor for World Water Council. Maybe you can.
Yeah. This was going to be about the road towards the forum. So, what are the road? What is the road? The processes included to get there.
Sure. Maybe just, my name is Peter McCormick. I'm with the Doherty Water for Food Global Institute at the University of Nebraska. And as you said, Lena, I serve on the World Water Council Board of Governors. So the road to the forum really goes back, this is now the 10th forum coming up, so it goes back 9 other forums. But in Senegal, as the minister said, was the voting of Indonesia to host the next forum, and Indonesia has been preparing for that forum. And in doing that, we have then also in the Board of Governors with our Indonesian colleagues on the International Steering Committee really been working on preparing for the forum. And much of the work, of course, falls on our Indonesian colleagues preparing in Jakarta. We had a meeting, a stakeholder meeting in Jakarta in February that was very successful and brought a lot of the international stakeholders together. There's been a lot of preparations in Indonesia themselves. If you actually go on Instagram and follow the forum, you will find you get all kinds of details from Instagram of what the forum and what is happening in Indonesia, mobilizing the youth, mobilizing the communities. It's very, very exciting. We've also been participating with the organizers in various events leading up to now through the UN water meetings in March, the Stockholm Water Week now, and then preparing for our next 2 weeks from now is in Beijing at the International Water Resources Association, and the Board of Governors meeting for the World Water Council, and so forth. At the same time, we've been also working on the priorities, and I say we, that's everyone involved with this. The World Water Council main, not purpose, but one of the main things it does is really select where this forum is going to be and how to organize. So preparations is working again with the team in Indonesia on the political process, regional process, and a thematic process. And so each region works on this 5 regions. Being based in the United States, we are working with our colleagues across the Americas, developing our regional process to feed into Bali. We're also working on the thematic process across the 6 themes or sub-themes of the forum, and that involves many people. In October, we will come together again in Bali to organize the second stakeholder meeting, and as I understand out of that, we will get our framework of our program finalized. A lot of work has already been done. And then on the regional process, it's also getting representation from local communities, from provinces and states, and others, in addition to the political leaders that will be there as part of the political process.
I'm really confident that, that from the multilateral organization, international organization, already have a commitment to support this from the UNESCO, UNEP, UNESC, and also AMCO from the African Minister of Water Resources Association, and also ADB, World Bank, Latin America Bank is also would like already have this commitment to support this. So they really make me confident and happy to host this World Water Forum.
There's a lot of people working together, but Peter, would you say there is any special challenge that you faced this forum?
I think the last forum was especially challenging. It was the first time in sub-Saharan Africa, and then with COVID on top of that, it made it very challenging for the hosts and for people to coordinate. And despite that, it was very successful. I think this one has challenges as well. I think one of the things we've all learned to do is to much better communicate over great distances via Zoom, so we can have lots of coordination meetings and connections. I think it is bringing all the pieces together that is challenging. It's a few people in Indonesia working on this that it's a quite a heavy lift. But already the one stakeholder meeting in Jakarta was very impressive, and I think there are challenges, but I think the right people are working on it.
But I mean,
This will be the first World Water Forum conducted in Southeast Asia. And it will we will expect that at least 50,000 people will come to this forum. But with our experience in conducting annual meeting of World Bank and IMF, G20, and other international event, I hope I will be ready to conduct this World Water Forum.
Mr. Kenso, in what way have you been involved in this?
Yeah, actually, I was the organizer of the Third World Water Forum in Kyoto in 2003. So I'm one of the alumni organizers of the forum. And in that sense, I was asked to be advisor to Minister Basuki in organizing the 10th World Water Forum. And as you know well, this World Water Forum is evolving process. From the Third World Water Forum until 10th World Water Forum, there's a political improvement and progress. There's the stakeholders improvement. For example, there was the ministerial conference in the World Water Forum at the first time in the Second World Water Forum. There's 9 in the first. Then after that, there are, head of the states conferences, and then the parliamentarians, and also legislators, and then the judges and the prosecutors. So every time, with a good idea of the World Water Council and the host government, they have been collaborating very closely and coming up with the new processes. That is the beauty of the World Water Forum process. And then now, what's going to happen in the 10th World Water Forum? Now, the President Jokowi of Indonesia is very keen to heighten this World Water Forum to the top level by inviting head of states and governments. So he has already started selling the World Water Forum to the world. That is great. And also Minister Basuki is traveling around us here. As this has not been seen in the previous forums. So this shows how serious the Indonesian government to make this World Water Forum a different one and with a successful one. And the thing is that the last year there was the G20 summit meeting in Bali, and then Minister Basuki and then President Jokowi talked and create the messages of water to the G20 president and prime ministers already, meaning that they have the conviction that water is politics, as Mr. Loic Pochon has already said. So this is a political forum. And the second thing very important is this is just after UN Water Conference in March. And then this is a very important process to follow up the UN Water Conference. UN Water Conference 2023 was a great success. Nobody doubt about it. But you cannot finish everything by just 3 days. Meaning that, since the UN conference is for the member states, there's a lot of intense discussion by the member states and over 800 commitments. But there are still a lot of voices yearning by the stakeholders to more actively participating in the global process. The World Water Forum is a venue, exactly the venue to invite all the stakeholders, youth, gender, indigenous people to talk freely and make a commitment. In addition to the 800 commitments made by the UN conference. So there are many things to happen in the World Water Forum, and Ms. Sabarsky is taking the lead on that, together with the World Water Council.
Yep.
It has a challenging topic, I think, the water for shared prosperity. How important is it that you succeed on this?
Well, I think it's important to succeed on this. I think that I find the title itself is, yes, it's ambitious, and it's certainly what we need to be trying to do is how do we use water equitably to actually meet the needs of humankind and nature. So I think it's the shared prosperity is a noble challenge.
Yeah, will you succeed?
It will certainly make progress towards it, and it's yes, how we translate a lot of our good ideas into actions is the challenge.
Water is not just the human right, but water is also the engine of the economical growth in its nation. So we have to set each other. Transboundary, for example, problem. We have to share the water, not owned by one nation, but also for all in the transboundary. Okay? So
Yes.
with that understanding, we select that water for shared prosperity for this 10 World Water Forum.
Yeah, this message is particularly important just after the COVID-19, the mood of the people. So we tend to focus on the surviving and reviving. But let's look to the future. We are here for prosperity, and the water is the engine to make it happen. That is a strong message by the Indonesian government and the World Water Council to the world.
Is there a message you would like to share with us that you would like us to take away from this discussion?
Well, I leave it to the minister to invite you all to Bali, but I do
Yes,
think
please.
I have a very personal connection to Indonesia. I think this is actually, for me, this is where I started.
He's my classmate.
We know each other. We have known each other for quite a long time. But for me, the an expression I don't particularly like, the living laboratory, but the setting for water and for shared prosperity. I think Indonesia is a fascinating example. And there, as the minister was saying, the Subak system in Bali is an ancient institution, and the emphasis on not just on infrastructure, but institutions and the cultural and the religious dimension of water is really to be experienced in Bali and in Indonesia more broadly. So I think the takeaway message is yes, we do have, there are challenges in addressing water, or we all wouldn't be here. But to really go to as a collective group of water professionals and where we will bring some of the world leaders and so forth, this is a huge opportunity. It's a big event, but it's a huge opportunity from everyone, from the people entering the sector to those who are, like some of us, are getting towards the end of our engagement in the sector. But it's I think it's a really positive opportunity, and especially in this kind of post-COVID times.
Minister, do you?
Anybody have not in Bali? Have not been in Bali? Raise your hand. Oh, wow. Now it is the time for you to come.
Okay.
So you have the invitation of the minister.
That would be wonderful. Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah, yes?
Actually, in Bali, the water has melted into everyday life, and the culture, society, and even religions are mingled with water. So you can feel that if you visit Bali, you can feel it how water is closely related to the people. But you cannot feel it in online. You have to come and enjoy.
Well, thank you very much for coming here and sharing your experience and your vision for this 10th World Water Forum. We give a big applause, I think, to the...
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lena.
Thank you.
Thank you.